Hey guys, it's Joe with another update video. Two things I wanted to get to today. One, I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on with the channel, and I saw Saving Mr. Banks today, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. First and foremost, guys, wanted to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. Hopefully 2013 was fun, and 2014 is even better for everybody. And as for the channel, we're going to give it a go again, so hopefully YouTube doesn't come barging down my door and yelling about copyright infringement. Next week on Wednesday, that'll be January 8th, I'm going to release the newest video, which will be something new that we're trying out. It's called Disney Channel Reviews. So that should be pretty fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. And then the week after that, that'll be January 15th, we'll have the newest official Disney Guy review. And we'll be looking at Fantasia. So that's a big one. Again, hopefully things are all good and nothing gets taken down. If not, we're giving it a shot, right? So we'll see from there. Alright, and the next thing I wanted to talk about was Saving Mr. Banks. So, quick preface before we start getting into it. I'm going to get heavy into spoilers here because I want to talk about the actual movie and talk about things in the movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, pause the video, go to your nearest theater, see the next showing of Saving Mr. Banks. Don't wait, don't spend any time looking at showtimes and whatever. The next one. Go to the next showtime, watch it, enjoy it, come back here, and then we're going to talk about it. Alright, so Saving Mr. Banks, final warning, spoilers are coming. I even wrote down notes and everything to try to not ramble as much this time around. So, yeah, wow. I really enjoyed Saving Mr. Banks. I said it's, from a movie standpoint, it is a very good movie. It's solid throughout. And from, again, a Disney nerd standpoint, it's kind of the same thing I talked about in Frozen. Something about this movie kind of brought out the Disney nerd in me and made him very happy. So, yeah, just all over enjoyed this movie. The entire cast I thought was wonderful. Tom Hanks as Walt Disney was awesome. You kind of forget that he's Tom Hanks for moments at a time. Emma Thompson was incredible. She's definitely going to get some award nominations for playing P.L. Travers, and all will be well deserved. Paul Giamatti and Colin Farrell, who I didn't even realize was in the movie because no one had really been talking about him. I thought he was incredible in it. Yeah, just I don't know what more to say other than that the cast was fantastic, and yeah, that's all I got on that. I thought the movie itself was very well put together, and what I mean by that is that every line, the character traits, and everything that sort of happened, it all had a meaning. It all kind of related to one another. For example, early on in the film, you see P.L. Travers is throwing pears out, and then later you see why the pears are important, and it just sort of like every sort of character trait, particularly with Travers, it gets brought up earlier in the film. You see where it comes from later in the film, and it really kind of answers all the questions, and it explains a lot as to why the characters are the way that they are. And personally, I enjoyed that. I thought that it was kind of a fun, like that aha moment every single time that you went through the film and kind of uncovered why a character was acting a certain way or why a character was the way that they were. What I thought was going to be interesting about this movie, even before I went to go see it, was that, the obvious plot of the movie and the obvious problem of the movie is the making of Mary Poppins and getting Travers to sign over the rights to Disney to make the movie. Now, obviously, we all know the movie does get made, so we know where the ending of the movie is. We know that it eventually does happen, and it's more the journey of how this happens. But what I thought was really fun was that, well, not so much fun, but interesting, I guess is the proper word, is that you see flashbacks to P.L. Travers' past, and it really kind of explains not only Travers' character and why she is the way she is and why she's so emotional about Mary Poppins, it almost explains a lot of where the story of Mary Poppins came from. And I didn't know that was going to be in the movie. I didn't realize how much of it was going to be flashbacks, and they worked marvelously, I thought. It really was interesting, and it kind of added an extra bit of intrigue to the movie because, again, we do know how the main plot is going to be resolved. We know the movie does get made. You pretty much can assume that going in because Mary Poppins exists. So the fact that we kind of have an almost a secondary storyline, like a parallel story going on, I thought was very interesting, and I thought kept my intrigue throughout the movie. The movie was also, it had some surprisingly dark moments. Obviously, the main story, I wouldn't say is happy, but it's not a sad story, but kind of especially in a lot of the flashbacks, when you see kind of Travers' father really sliding downhill and down into alcoholism. There's definitely some dark moments in Travers' past, and thought it was interesting how the movie brought them up and kind of brought them to light, especially when contrasted to this kind of wonderful 60s Hollywood Disney look on in the present day, or in the present day in terms of the film. So yeah, and it wasn't stuff that like came out of nowhere. So it was done well. It was done tastefully. It was good overall. I enjoyed it. Definitely added a lot of meat and a lot of weight to the story. And yeah, again, just another element that I thought that I didn't expect, but that I thought was done well and that I enjoyed in the film. I thought the dynamic that was portrayed between Walt and Travers was extremely interesting. Now, I'm going to try to read into the movie a little bit here. I may be way off, but hey, it's my opinion. You guys can tell me below what you think about all of this. So really, what I thought was interesting, and again, this is what I'm thinking the movie was trying to do, but it could be off, was that Walt, I felt, was portrayed different ways towards Travers, or that Travers saw Walt in different ways throughout the film. For the majority of the film, I think that Travers sees Walt very similar to her father, in that both of them have this whimsical attitude towards life and this childlike sort of view on the world, on the exterior. They both have a very deadly vice. Her father was an alcoholic, and Walt is smokes, and they definitely let you know that he smokes. He has this horrible cough throughout the movie, and even makes mention about how nobody should ever see him smoking cigarettes, which I thought was interesting because that was also Walt in real life, his viewpoint on things. But I definitely thought that throughout the vast majority in the beginning of the film, that Travers sort of saw Walt as her father, and that's where some of the resentment towards him came. Again, speculation, just my opinion. But what I thought was really interesting was towards the end of the film, and really throughout you kind of see hints of it, is that Walt really is more like Travers, in that he shares a story about his father and his childhood, and obviously there's a lot of parallels between him and Travers and their relationship with their fathers. But I also thought it was interesting how Travers consistently said that Mary Poppins and the Bankses were family to her, and Walt mentions that Mickey Mouse is family to him, and kind of the relationship between Walt and Mickey is very parallel, I thought, to Travers and Mary, and it kind of gave them common ground to look at each other on, in that they both had this fictional character that they created, but that is so real to them that it really is a part of their family. So Walt can kind of see where Travers is coming from, and Travers can, I guess, relate to Walt a little bit more and see that he's not just a King Midas, as he said in the movie, trying to get another brick in his wall, I think was the line, as opposed to trying to bring Mary Poppins to the world and trying to treat her with respect. And speaking of Mickey, the other thing that I thought was interesting was how Travers kind of relates to Mickey Mouse in some silly ways. Like there's the big stuffed Mickey doll, and she cuddles up with it, and later she's having tea with it and talking to it while she signs the rights over. And why I thought that was interesting was because, again, with how Walt was talking about how Mickey was family to him, much in the way that Mary and the Bankses were family to Travers, again, it kind of shows that parallel. I thought it kind of drove home the fact that Mickey is kind of like the bond, I guess, between Walt and Travers, whether they know it or not, or the common ground that they have, again, with the fictional character being part of the family. But yeah, I'll try to stop speculating and putting deeper meaning into the movie and rambling, because Lord knows that I do enough of that when I'm talking about Disney stuff. But yeah, definitely Saving Mr. Banks, fantastic movie. I enjoyed every minute of it. I thought it was awesome that Richard Sherman was the music supervisor, I believe, for this movie, and he actually was one of the lyricists with his brother in the actual Mary Poppins movie. So that was kind of cool. Again, the Disney nerd in me comes out when I see a lot of the kind of Easter eggs and inside jokes and things like that when it came to the Disney studios. And of course, seeing Disneyland in the 60s, that whole scene is very cool. Honestly, the best way to watch this movie, I think, would be to watch Mary Poppins a couple days before you go see it. That way it's in your head and the music's in your head and you kind of, can remember the story. And then you see the movie, and then I would watch Mary Poppins again because the movie Mary Poppins takes on this whole new meaning now that you've kind of seen the behind the scenes story and kind of the what went into the characters and what went into making the film in general. And I mean, personally, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to watch Mary Poppins the same way again now, knowing more of this sort of story and more of where not only the way the movie got made, but where the actual characters came from Trevor's life. And yes, I know that obviously some liberties were taken with the story and with the relationship between Walt and Travers. It's a movie. Every time that things are based on real life, they're based on real life. They're not retelling the story. So I get it. I get that things have to be changed. Fine with it. If you guys have a problem with it, that's your prerogative. I'm always okay whenever they kind of switch things around or skew the truth every now and again to make for a better story for the movie. So yeah, with that, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. So again, check back next week. I'm going to put up a new video, and hopefully we will be able to run videos out every week for a long period of time without interruption or issue or copyright, and I won't have to be talking to you like this again for quite some time. Cross our fingers, hope for the best. Alright guys, tell me what you thought about the movie. If you've seen Saving Mr. Banks, if you haven't seen it and you watch this whole video, I'm sorry for kind of ruining some moments, but hey, I gave you fair warning beforehand. So tell me what you guys think below. Tell me anything you want to tell me down there. Tell me ideas you have for the show, things you want to see, what you like, what you don't like, all that good stuff so that I know and I can make the best product for you. Thanks again, guys. I'm going to see you next week with a brand new video. Hooray! See ya.